Hey there, my name's John. I'm the part owner of Riley's Uniques, and I just wanted to go over a couple of things. A lot of people are always asking me, how do you make a living selling used furniture, antiques, collectibles, things like that? Um, so I wanted to kind of go down a list and tell you guys how I do it. This is what I do full time. I'm my own boss. Uh, I get to set my own vacations, go do what I want, and it's really nice. But there's a couple of things that'll make it easier for you. Things that I've learned on my own, uh, through the years doing this. Um, One is volume selling. Volume selling is I sell a lot, kind of reduce prices and make it up in volume. I don't try to make full retail on one single item. Um, if it's selling for like 80 bucks on eBay and that's the sold listings, I don't put $80 on it. I'll put like 59.97. It's $60, but the extra 3 cents off plays kind of a mind game, but makes it feel like they're getting a better deal. um, and so I do things like that. I sell a lot of furniture. I'll paint and refinish dressers, chest of drawers, and I'll sell those for like $100 to $200. Smaller chest of drawers are like $89. Um, but in order to do that, you have to buy the things at reasonable prices, cheaper prices that you're able to sell it, kind of wholesale. I have a lot of people who come and buy from me that are dealers, and they're not applying these principles. They're trying to get full retail. So in their booth, they got 165 $200 a month rent. They might get like a $150 check at the end of the month. If it's 200, they sold $350. That sounds good, but that's only $150 profit, not including what they had into their item. So to me, I couldn't make a living off of that. Most people just do it as a hobby, or hopes to do it as a living. But it's really hard, until you apply these kind of principles or tips, tricks, so called. um, but let's say a dresser, I'll try not to pay no more than $30 for it, especially if I'm selling it at $100. Or I'll put on it, 99.97. Kind of that Walmart mind game thing. Um, so I buy it for 30. I paint it. I use chalk paint to paint my furniture, and it goes on quick. It goes on fast. There's not a lot of prep. I do sand it, rough it up. If it's a bright color, I prime it beforehand and then paint it and then put a wax on it. And I'll have probably, chalk paint goes a long ways, so I'll probably have like maybe a couple dollars of paint invested into the piece. Of course, my labor, but I've kind of got it down. I can paint a dresser probably within an hour, hour and a half. So I've paid, got like $30 invested, $32 invested, and I'm selling it, for a large full size dresser. I'm selling it for 115 in my booth. That kind of covers the 10% that they normally take. And so, $100, that would be $10. So I've made $105 or so on it. Actually about 100, because 115, 10%. We'll round it up. And that puts me making, 3 times the amount and a little bit more. I don't have a calculator in front of me. I'll make another video to break it down exactly what I'm making on this stuff. And a lot of people's like, man, you need to up your prices. I'm selling these dressers for $200, $300, but that dresser's sitting there for like 3 months, 4 months, couple months, 2 months, and I'm selling 5 dressers a week. So they got that one dresser that they're selling for $200, $300, and yeah, they're selling it eventually, but then they've only made a couple $100 in 3 months, and it's sitting at one spot for a while. Most of your booth sizes are 8x10 or 10x10, and I've moved 5 dressers out in a week, or even if you just do a couple dressers a week, in a 4-week month, you've done 800, right? Yeah, not really good with the math, sorry. But you've done 800 for that month, and then if you've done a few smalls, I don't really try to clutter my booth up. I try to put my furniture around, put a couple in the middle, and then stage it with nice quality smalls on top of my furniture. And I might have a bookcase in some of them that I put more smalls on. And that's another thing with my smalls. I buy it at a real good price, go to auction, buy an estate. The estate's the best way to get more volume at cheaper prices. You have to pay up a lot up front, but in the long run, if you're going to do this for a long time and as your main source of income, it's good to buy estates. But yeah, I try to do that. The same principle with the dressers and things. If I'm going to sell it for, I try not to have anything below $20 in my booth. So if I'm going to sell it for $20, I want to pay $5 for it, and I want to make sure it's going to move quick. But sometimes that's hard to do. If you can double your money on smalls, that's good too. Pay 10 and sell it for 20, but you're really only making $7, $8. That's all right. But I try to apply the 80-20 principle. If you don't know about the 80-20 principle, go on YouTube, check it out. It's real good advice. You want to put 20% of your effort or your money into something and get 80% of the return, instead of putting 80% effort and get 20% return. If you apply the 80-20 principle to everything you do, you can make more money, and it's just easier that way. It seems hard, but once you get into the rhythm, start doing it, know what you're looking for, it gets a lot easier. Another thing to do is, when you're doing booths, find the right location where there's high traffic, they have high volume coming through. Don't get into too big of an antique mall where they have hundreds of other vendors. You go into some, man, they're full-size Walmarts and nothing but booths, and you'll get lost in the mix, and it'll be hard to make really good checks unless you're right up front. And usually the people who's right up front are people who's been there for years and they've kind of migrated to the front. So try to get into a busy antique mall that is high traffic, but not too big. You probably don't want over 100 vendors in that mall. It really kind of depends on how big the booths are and how they have their layout. They could have a lot of small booths. So and you know, you want to get a big booth, at least a 8x10. And that usually runs $1.50, $1.65 a square foot. So you know, you're looking at 165, $200 in rent. But don't let that scare you, because you can do, if you apply the principles I've told you, you can do $1,000 a month per booth, easy. Um, right now, you know, I have 5 booths set up. Have 2 in my own store, um, and then I have 3 at other locations that are high volume. One is only known for mainly for home decor, painted furniture, and I do really good in that. I have a huge booth. I don't even remember how big it is. I think it's like 15 by 20, 20 by 20, or something like that, or 18 by 18. It's big. But I pay about 400 a month in that booth. But on a slow month, you know, I'll hit 1,000 easy. But that's rare. That's like the April, May area. You know, spring's hitting, people's going on vacations, and but you know, I do, you know, on a normal 15 to 2,000 a month out of that booth, and my goal is to do 3,000 a month out of that booth, and I can do it. You know, I'm just now started applying these principles for myself on the 80-20 principle. So I'm expecting to see a big return on that. Um, but you know, the other 2 booths is well known store around the area, and so they have high traffic volume. They have the signs on the interstate. That's a big thing. If you have a interstate or highway coming through, that they have the signs up on the interstate, showing that they're there, and it helps. I mean, that draws a lot of people in. And they do like the Sunday Driver pamphlet. That's a antique pamphlet. It tells all the stores along a certain route. It'll be called something else. It could be a Sunday Driver in your area, but they have a different route. You just have to look it up, but they're all the way across, you know, the United States. Or you know, all this applies to people who's watching this, you know, in other countries too, UK, you know, wherever, you know. But that's it. That's it. Kind of a unorthodox video, but I wanted to get those specific details out, how I do it. I've been doing it for 3 years full time. I pay all my rent, pay all my bills, my child support, everything. So you can do it. You know, it's hard work at first to get it started. Another thing to do too, before I forget, is when you put your items into your booth, whatever it is, it could be signage, it could be bottles, jars, just whatever, you know, advertisement stuff. Put it on Craigslist and where it's located, and then also on the marketplaces, and you know, that draws people in to your booth. You know, they might shop around to other places, but it gets their stuff seen outside of people who would never even go into that store. You'd be very surprised. Almost every item that I put in my booths, I marketed it on Craigslist and Marketplace on Facebook. I also have an Instagram page, business page, and a Facebook business page that people can go and see my stuff. But I'll be making more videos on how to market your items on Craigslist, how to weed out all the emails and the phone calls and the questions, and you'll get some serious buyers. You don't get those time wasters. But that'll be my next video coming up. I'll show you how to do that. I'll also be doing a couple of videos to show you how I paint my furniture and how I save time doing it, and it's still a good quality piece of furniture. You know, I want good quality, also need it done fast, and you know, and I need to make money. Time's money. So that ups your average, how much you're making per hour and things like that. And you can do a spreadsheet too that shows you how much time you spend on a piece of furniture, how much you have in it, money wise, and then once you sell it, what kind of profit you made and how much you actually made per hour. I might get into that. I don't do that anymore because I've been doing it for 3 years. I kind of know what I'm getting. So, anyways, thanks for checking me out. And please, please subscribe to my channel. I know I don't have that many videos yet, but they are coming. And I've been doing this a while. I've been doing it 3 years full time, but I've been doing it for like 15 years as a side hustle, side business. So I got a lot of knowledge I want to share with you guys and show you how you can do this and bring out the entrepreneur in you. Do what you love, do what's your passion. And a lot of these tips too you can apply to other things, not only just antiques, collectibles, but selling online, selling anything. You don't have to be creative. You don't have to be an artist or anything like that. You just got to have an idea and go with it. And a lot of these principles will help you in that too. Thanks a lot, and look forward to seeing you again.